Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. That is almost 4 years of Torah every single day with friends from all over the world. It is broadcast 987. Thank you, Penny. Adele, it's good to see you. Arlene and Ron, Bensi, Boker Tov. It's good to see all of you. We have come together through moments that are beautiful and moments that are incredibly, incredibly hard. And we come through it together. We have found each other every single day, knowing that Torah helps lift our hearts and that we can be a part of that lifting too. It's beautiful to be with you. It's good to be with you. It's comforting to be with you. Let's see who's here this morning. Chana and Scott, Linda and Andrew, Roberta, Boker Tov. Yisrael, my friend, sending love to Yisrael Campbell in Yerushalayim. What a gift it is to see you. Sending you such a hug. Barry and Sherry, good morning. Dale, Arlene, Blair, Deborah and Jacqueline, good morning. Carl, Cecile, Janice, good morning, friends. I hope all of you are safe and well. I hope you and your loved ones are safe and well. Hetty, happy birthday to you, my friends. Minna and Robin, it's good to see you. Let's take a breath. Catherine and Anya, Cheryl and Robin. There's a lot of love in these spaces between the zeros and ones of computer code. Let's not miss the chance to let in that love. With all of the hard news that we are receiving, let's make sure that we can let in the love. Catherine sending love to Australia. Cheryl, Adrian, my friend. What a gift it is to see you. I was wondering, since you're in California with your brother and your sister-in-law, would you be with us at this early hour? What a gift that you are. Isabel, good morning. Hi, Pete. Marcia and Amy. Friends, I'm sending strength everywhere I possibly can, and please join me in sending strength to each other. Take a breath and send love on the chat, in the comments. You want to say Am Yisrael Chai? That is another way of saying love. If once we are done, you're going to make sure to send love, to make some calls, send some texts to friends in Israel, friends all over the world. Do that today. Don't wait. Here we go. And speaking of love, I cannot overstate, and I will always take privilege to say what a gift it is to have my amazing, supportive, beautiful, artistic, loving wife present with me just across that wall, but also in this space. Neshama, thank you for everything you are. friends. Good morning to everybody. It is truly, truly comforting and strengthening to have this community assemble every single time. This is broadcast 987. Our 1000th broadcast will be coming up on February 26th. I hope that you'll be present. I don't really know what we're going to do, except I know we're going to learn. And there is a good chance we're going to be doing something special for that broadcast, which I'll share as soon as it takes form, but there might be a crew filming us filming our broadcast on the 26th. So stay tuned. I promise to tell you all about it. Kim, it is good to see you. Thanks for being here from Colorado. And Fabrice, thank you for being here from France. We have representatives, friends, right now on the ground all over the United States and Australia and France and, thank God, our beloved Israel. We are present. It's Parshat Mishpatim. And this is a jarring shift from the way that the Torah portions have been constructed just previous to this Torah portion. 2 Parshiot ago, we had the splitting of the sea. Before that, all of the plagues and the liberation from Egypt. We went through the sea, Parshat Beshalach. The Torah is given Parshat Yitro. And this week, Mishpatim is literally named for laws. And there are different kinds of biblical text. Sacred text is often divided into 2 different categories. This is written, this is scholarship based on Robert Carver, who is a legal theorist and philosopher. There is logos and nomos. Logos is really the way that we tell our stories, and nomos is law. And so when you look at the Torah, or you look at the Talmud, or really any sacred scripture, you will see some parts of the Torah are lists of laws, and some are narrative. They are different kinds of text. Often we enjoy the narratives more. Stories are much better than lists of laws. But of course, what you need to do when you look into the law is wonder about its purpose. Why is it there? And Parshat Mishpatim, this week's Parsha, weaves together both the law and the story in ways that are somewhat invisible to the eye. And for this, I thank Rabbi David Kasher, an incredible, incredible teacher, author, rabbi, and mensch of our days. He has beautiful writings that he has continued to offer the world about the Torah portion. And this observation is going to be based on something that he wrote this week. And I offer this. Friends, I know I'm up and down, and I know you are too. I offer this teaching in honor and in loving memory of the at least 31 hostages who we had confirmed yesterday won't be coming home. The why is in my eyes and is in our soul. And because we began reading the Torah again on October 7th, Simchat Torah, every Torah portion is filled with our people's experience these days. So I know that I just went up and down, but friends, my broken heart and yours are connected through Torah, as they have been 987 weekdays in a row. And when I honor our lost loved ones, I pray for the release of everyone else, especially looking at photos that have just been released of cells where they had been held by Hamas. The pictures released by Tzahal, the IDF. I'm holding all of them, and I know you are too. Please let's make sure to hold each other with tenderness and with passion. We are stronger than we have ever been. We need to be stronger than we've ever been. And when I'm talking about logos and nomos, law and story, let's remember that our stories have defined us. They tell us what our laws must be. We fight for our family, and we fight remembering what it was to have no power. The first law that's given in Parshat Mishpatim is incredibly strange to read. It's very strange, because the first law is about when an Israelite will have a slave. And think about where we've come from and how bizarre that law is in our eyes, especially because of what we now know and what we now believe and what we have evolved into, thank God, when it comes to human dignity. That slavery itself is absolutely anathema to being aware that every human being is created in the image of God, how could this week's Parsha be at all endorsing of slavery, especially because our ancestors, for whom this is their current events, the headlines, for them is our Parsha this week. How could the first law that's given to the newly freed Israelites be about owning a slave? And the reason why I bring that in is not to make it okay. Obviously, it's not. Degradation of any human being is anathema in the eyes of our tradition. But why is it there? This is what Rabbi Kasher points out, quoting ancient sources, but also his own intuition, for which I and we are grateful. I am, and we should be grateful. The Torah states the law about slaves by saying, "This is how you must treat your slave with dignity, because you were slaves in Egypt." Meaning those two categories that I just mentioned before, between nomos and logos, law and story, rules and narrative, are woven together in one in this week's Parsha. We are told over and over how to treat people because we know what it was to be mistreated. We know because of our very ragged history over millennia what it is to be powerless. And now we are not. It feels very complicated, doesn't it? To think about how powerful we are when we remain as vulnerable as we also are. But it is incredibly important for us to be steeped in our history, to know that we have overcome such incredible tribulations, including the ancient slavery in Egypt and 2,000 years of wandering. We came home, and we have become strong, which is why October 7th is so incredibly intense and blasphemous. We became strong enough that this wasn't supposed to happen. But we have learned that even when you are as strong as we have become, and I'm going to keep on saying this so that we internalize it, maybe so that I feel it a little bit more. We have become so strong. October 7th makes no sense given who we have become. Our logos, our story, continues to grow, and so do we, to the point that we now have the obligation to use our power ethically. This will not be the moment. I will not take this opportunity to criticize our people. But you and I know that there are at best, human beings implementing vast power and resource right now in our name to defend our people and try to free our family. What we must do is hold on to a story that is longer than our lifetimes. When I say Am Yisrael Chai, I am drawing on the experience and the love of countless ancestors, and I am blessing countless descendants, and I know you are too. Am Yisrael Chai is a promise. It is a promise. This Parsha says, when you own a slave, Ki tikne eved ivri, which makes no sense, unless it is trying to remind us that we came from somewhere. Our experience should inform our decisions once we can make decisions again. We came home. Self-determination was the dream of Zionism and the promise of the Torah. I don't know your theology, and sometimes I'm not so sure myself, but it's clear to me that the Zionist movement, the political Zionist movement, which was about rallying through international diplomacy, a safe haven with defensible borders for our people to go home, to come home. What do we do now? Was the gorgeous question we got to ask in 1948. We celebrate. We double down on life. We have great coffee in Tel Aviv and great artistry in Tzfat. And yes, like my beautiful daughter is doing right now. We repaint kindergartens in Sderot in the south of Israel so that when Israeli children can go home again, and they will go home again, they have a beautiful school to learn with gifted educators in the context of the Third Jewish Commonwealth. That's what we do. When we have power again, which we finally do. The question is not how do we deal with powerlessness. The question for us now is how do we deal with power? Zionism is, this is my definition of it, the ethical use of power we wish we didn't need. October 7th reminded us that we absolutely need it. Because if we do not exercise it, the number is not 31. The number is not 1,200 of our beloveds. We must exercise power, and because we have a history that we are commanded to learn, every day we say the Shema twice. Remember that you were slaves in Egypt, and I freed you for a purpose. These Torah portions are incredibly important, no matter how strange it is to go from the splitting of the sea to the giving of the Torah to a bunch of rules. Those rules have tucked into them the entire story. Our structure as a society is based on who we have been and where we have come from. And friends, this clenched fist is not only a fist of rage, though it really is that too. It is also a hand that knows how to wield power, because I was born into a reality where there was a state of Israel because of the sacrifice of countless ancestors and warriors. We have decided through our work, through our passion, and yes, through the grace of the Holy One, that we will never go back into a moment of powerlessness. Our ethical use of power will be incredibly demanding, and I bless us and our family in the state of Israel to make very important conversations happen once we are able to breathe and really examine how October 7th happened and the kind of leaders we deserve and our children need. That will be a vital conversation that we have the power, right, and responsibility to conduct. The questions of our past are not the questions of today anymore. But we must continue to review the past and learn it. Learn from our experience. Learn from the Torah portions. Yes, celebrate the miracles. Yes, be skeptical about biblical text and be evolved in our notion of chosenness and theology. Yes, God loves us, but yes, God loves all God's children. And we really have to wonder on a theological level, what is it to subvert, to erase your own image of God, which I believe is the definition of terrorism. Terrorism is to deny that you or someone else is created in the image of God, to dehumanize and to treat as an object another human being. We are never going to do that. We will never allow ourselves to do that. And we are not doing that now. The accusations of our children and our army and our homeland are tinged with incredible anti-Semitism. We have the power to call it out. Therefore, we have the obligation to call it out. And why do we remember that we must call it out? Because we know our history, we know our story, and we are not going backward in time. We rewrote the DNA of the Jewish people based on historic DNA of the Jewish people. We came home and decided that we were not going to live subject to another's authority. No more living under Roman-occupied ancient Palestine. No more living under British Mandate Palestine, not the Ottoman occupation, nothing. Torah is an example for us from the ancient world of what it is to remember your history as you try to build a better future. Mishpatim, this week's Parsha, is not just laws. It is our story instantiated. It is codifying our history in the way that we will conduct our lives. The Torah tells us where we came from and says, if you think you're going to perpetuate the wrongness of slavery, I'm going to tie your hands and I'm going to make sure you tie your own hands so that you never, never forget what it is to have power, because you're not allowed to use that power in a careless or abusive way. And you must hold yourself accountable if you ever over exercise power. What a gift it is, friends, that the Torah could imagine a day when we would have the power to make decisions ourselves. What a gift it is to be commanded to learn our own story. What a gift it has been for 987 consecutive weekday mornings to learn that Torah, to become more versed in our own story, so that when we read the laws that accompany those stories, we remember where they come from. We all come from somewhere. The gift of this moment, as painful as it is for us to figure out the answer, is to ask this question now. What next? We have the right, power, and therefore obligation to ask the question, what next? We are alive. That's why we get to ask what next. We are alive. And we will fight for life, for our family, for our children, for our homeland. And of course, as we always have, we will fight for dignity for every other image of God on earth. This is the time where we call it out for ourselves too. Dignity does not belong only to them. It also belongs to us. So Am Yisrael Chai is a reminder. Say it with me. Write it. Text it. Chant it. Daven it. Make a promise to yourself and to your future, to future generations, that you will not give up. Promise that. Promise it now. Call it out to the world. Wear it on your shoulders. Wear it on your sleeves. Wear it in your eyes. Show up proud and loud as part of the Jewish people. And for those of us in our beautiful community who are not Jewish, bless you for being present as a committed part of our community. You are family too. You figure out how to say Am Yisrael Chai. We are proud to have you. What a blessing it is to have created this community with all of you for almost 4 years. February 26th, that'll be 1,000 times we've learned together. What are we going to do for the 2,000th time, my friends? We have so much beauty ahead. I'm so excited for what we get to build together. And we will face this moment, and then we will face the next. And we will remember what we've been through so that we can be even stronger as we face the next challenge. We've got this. I don't really know how, but our ancestors could never have imagined the strength that we have right now. Let's use it. Let's double down on it. Let's not let anyone else write our story. It's already in our hands to write. So, let's be authors of our destiny, friends. We remember. We are commanded to remember those moments and this one. Our descendants will be proud of the decisions we make now. Am Yisrael Chai. So let's sing. Let's sing our song of hope that will never go away. Kolon balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia od lo avda tikvateinu hatikva bat shnot alpayim להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, friends.